sapphire casing. Blue sapphires on this.
Sapphire.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Long overdue. I took a little break because the girl been grinding, honestly. Became a bartender outside of my regular 9 to 5, so really didn't have time, and then I was taking makeup appointments as well. So I'm transitioning my life. I got some future goals coming very soon. I will let you guys know that obviously in the future when it comes, because I don't like to give a little too much information because they be watching. People be hating on your goals, your plans, all of that. So obviously you guys already know that this video, the topic is about my brother being murdered. I'm going to be talking through this, so it may be a little boring, but I feel like I just need to share this video because I feel like it would help me, help others, help myself, if that makes sense, because I feel like people are going through this, people have went through this. It is hard, and I know it was hard for me, so I know it's hard for others, and they need to hear that someone else is going through it and is not afraid to mention the depths of grief and dealing with something like that. And this will help me because I'm able to finally be transparent and open up about certain things. And I feel like with me doing this video, I feel like it'll be the start or a breakthrough of something. I don't know why. Like, I've always felt it in my heart to do it. I just didn't have time to, or I was just scared. Not even time, I was just scared to do it. But I feel like I finally healed from it. Of course you still have room to heal and evolve and grow, but I needed to do this. And because I'm at a place where, like I said, I feel like I'm healed enough to share this, because you couldn't share this while going through your healing because you don't know what the fuck you're going through. So let's start this video. Ooh. So guys, on April 16th 2013, I was doing a paper. I was attending Queens College. It was kind of around like final weeks and things like that, so you know, you have papers and you have your final exams or whatever. So my brother and his girlfriend at the time, they were arguing, and my mom had a conversation with them in the living room. And this had to be around like maybe 10, 11. And I remember my mom going with them, having a conversation. I was like, man, this is like the umpteenth argument. Like, I don't have time. I'm gonna go and finish my paper. So I'm finishing it, whatever. I didn't know that the conversation was done, but my mother told me she was going to sleep, so I'm a procrastinator. So it's like 12:01 at this point, and so I hear sirens, but whatever, it's typical New York shit, you hear sirens. So I heard a phone ring. I heard my mother answer it. She's like, huh, whatever, and I hear my mother, what, are you serious, blah, blah, blah. So she busts into my room like a second later. She's like, the girl, I'm gonna just say the girl because I don't want to say names, but the girl, she said she just came in, something, and blah, blah, blah. So now the sirens of ambulance and police is just getting louder, and I'm just like, what? So my mother's like getting dressed while she's telling me this. Okay, cool. So I'm getting dressed, like, what the fuck now? Like, so we get in the car. My mother's trying to call the girl back, and no answer. But obviously we were just like, all right, follow the sirens, because on the previous phone call she stated that it was like near the house or whatever. So we literally followed the sirens, and when I tell you, I went a block up, made a left, went that block, and I made a right onto that corner. That's where everything was at. When I got there, so I saw her car facing the podium of the brick column of their gate, and his body was laid out like right here, and her car was here, and then the ambulance and police and stuff was there. And I saw the ambulance like trying to resuscitate him to see and just checking his pulses. So immediately we run, but they was like, guys, you gotta back up. And we are like, oh, we're his family, blah blah. They was like, you gotta back up, blah blah blah. So we're sitting there, I'm holding my mother because I feel her getting weak, and this dude walks by and he was like, yo, y'all know him? And I was like, yeah, that's my brother. And he was like, yo, I don't think he's gonna make it, Ma. I was like, yo, man, like, what the fuck? What type of shit you saying right now? Like, nobody got time to hear that. Like, get the fuck out of here. So he was like, my bad, and whatever. So my heart is like, my anxiety, like everything through the fucking roof, because I'm just like, what the hell? And in the back of my mind, I'm like, he's good. Came and goes through mad shit. Like, this nigga is strong, this nigga's tough. He's good. He's gonna make it through. So once I seen him picking up his body, they put him in the ambulance, and we get back in the car and we asked them what hospital they were going to, and he said Queens Hospital. So we're following the ambulance. They have no sirens on, right? Usually like I know my mind was distorted, but usually they have their sirens on if it's like a dire emergency. But I get it, there's no traffic outside, but whatever. That was my thought while we were driving to the hospital. So we get there, we parked somewhere, I don't even fucking know where we parked. We go into the hospital, the emergency room, and they're pushing him on the stretcher, and they take him to like a nearby room, I guess, an emergency room, operating room, to perform quick surgeries or whatever, to resuscitate. And so they put us in this room in the back. Walked in the room, it was like, it looked like a kitchen with a desk in it. It looked like a break room, but you could tell it wasn't a break room. So my mother's sitting down, I was pacing back and forth. I can't sit down when my nerves are unsteady. So we're waiting there, pacing back and forth. The doctor, I don't even know who he was, he walked in the room, and immediately off rip, when son was like, I'm sorry, but I dropped to the floor. Like, I didn't even let him finish the rest of his sentence, and I felt like, you know, the episode in SpongeBob where Mr. Krabs, or the meme where the room is like all hazy? That was me. I couldn't hear nothing else that man said, and I couldn't even be strong enough to hold my mom at that time because I was weak. And sorry y'all, I didn't even prepare for this. I kind of got myself together, but I was crying. When I say I was booing, like snot coming up my nose type shit. Sorry, because if I keep talking, I'm gonna keep crying. But so I picked up my mom, and she was booing, like, but I couldn't even hear how loud she was yelling over the initial shock and the world freezing. I couldn't hear her. I felt like I was deaf. And I got my mom together. We just sat her down in the room, but I had to get the fuck out of there. Like, I got out of there. Oh, I left. I had to go outside, and I don't even remember how I got outside. It felt like a maze, like, and it was only down the hallway. All the commotion and chaos in the hospital, it felt still. It felt still as fuck. Like, everyone just stopped, and I didn't care about anything else. So I got outside, and I don't know what possessed me to call my father. I called him, and he answered, and the first thing I could say was, Dad came and died. He's dead. And my father goes, what? And I'm like, he's dead. Like, and I just started booing all over again, and he was like, calm down. So I'm trying to calm down, because I'm thinking this man is trying to, like, you know, get me to calm down. And he says to me, I mean, that's what he gets for that street, like, da-da-da.
The number you have dialed.
What? Like, I was going through so much emotions at once. I was fucking angry with this fucking dipshit of a fucking father. And the bigger picture here is my fucking blood brother that grew up with me. And I guess I have 3 other brothers. Me, I'm the middle child. I have an older brother, came in, the one that passed, me, and then 2 younger brothers. The 2 youngest ones have their own mom, and then my eldest is from a different mom. But my eldest grew up with me as well. My mother took care of him as her own once my father and my mother got together. But came in, that's my blood brother, grew up like everyday shit. But I was dealing with that. So it's just like, you're gonna say some shit like that? So I just went back in the hospital to find my mom to make sure she was good. And then all of a sudden they had his body in a room, laid out, I guess for viewing purposes. I don't even really know. And I don't even know how within, like, I guess that 15 minutes of me being outside and talking to my dad, my brother's friends was there, like, mad at his niggas. And I guess because of the whole entire altercation, which I will get into, one friend told another friend and they was there. And then my mom's boyfriend at the time, he pulled up. And he was holding me, consoling me and my mom. My mom was trying to do paperwork and, you know, handling that task. And here comes my father walking in. Honestly, I gave two shits about that nigga. I didn't say shit. Like, he didn't even know what to say. But yeah, that was the initial shock. And then I don't even know how long I was there at the hospital. So I got home, went to sleep. And it's funny because I had lashes on. I think that was the first time I got lashes. And we used to get lashes done at the Asians, and they used to make them thick as shit. That was my first time. And I tell you, I woke up the next day, I did not have one single lash on my eye. Like, even my own lashes ripped all the way out. So I think I posted it when the Instagram stories first came out, maybe, or maybe on my page, I'm not sure. But I woke up the next day, my mom knocked on the door, and I was just like, Saf, your friend is here. And I woke up and all I remember was seeing Tanya. And those of y'all who know Tanya from Dozo or whatever, like, you're always going to be in my heart for just showing up that early. I mean, I tell y'all, she fucking trooped it all the way from Linden, past Linden, like Cambria, all the way to freaking Hollis, all the way up Franny Lou, just to make sure I was good. When I tell you I looked in the mirror, my eyes was out to here. They were so swollen. Oh my god. And after that, I remember my friends coming too, like, different people showing up at the house. My friend Chanel, cousin Cheyenne, Judy. I remember smoking vaguely. I don't remember eating. I couldn't eat. I didn't have an appetite for like a good 2 months. But I do remember the next day the doorbell rang, and I think my mom was like, you know, talking to people and stuff like that. So I go to the door and it was the news channel. I don't remember what news channel, but it was a reporter trying to get a little mini interview. And I don't know, like, I know the world that we live in when shit happens, but when it happens to you, it's just like, I felt like that was an invasion of my privacy. My mom's like, we just found out and you're asking for a story. Like, my guy, I don't know, like, we don't know what happened. Like, we don't know the full, like, we did not know the full incident, how it escalated, what happened. Like, we just found out and we're dealing with that, and you're gonna come and ask us, oh, what did it? I was like, honestly, you're not getting an answer from us. I'm sorry, but you gotta go. Well, we can't say a few words? No. And that's where I realized the news lied. Like, I already knew the government was a fucking fraud, but seeing the news article that they wrote up and literally quoted shit that I said, shit that my mother said, shit that, what? How? Like, what? Yeah. So when I read stories, I don't even watch the news. I don't read the news. I know that sounds ignorant because you should know what's going on in the world, but no, I'm good. But yeah, and so pretty much after that, it was just like a flood of people in and out of my house. His other girlfriend, she was still going through it. It was a lot. And then just like dealing with, I didn't go back to school that semester. I didn't. I think I went back to them in like July to tell them what happened. Obviously they gave me an F for the whole semester, like each class that I took, but when I went back and explained to them what happened, they just gave me an unofficial withdrawal. Did I have a job at that time? I don't even know. Did I have No, I did not have a job because April, not a great month for me. Okay, right? So April 16th, my brother passed away. 2013. My grandmother, April 13th, 2009. That was my homie. That was my mom. That was my grandma. Okay. And then so it was already like a finicky month. But April 1st, I got fired from Chase. So I was already feeling shitty about my life. Like, me getting fired from Chase, that's a whole nother video, bro, because I'm not even gonna tell you why they fired me, but it was on some fucking bullshit, some systematical racist ass bullshit. Anyway, back to my brother. So yeah, I didn't have a job at that time. So yeah, other than that, I didn't really have any responsibilities, and that's when I began smoking crazy, like heavy. I didn't even know how to roll at that time. Like, if I would smoke, it'll be like a here and there thing, like twice a year maybe. Somebody else was rolling it, or I was around someone that just smoked a lot, but not a lot, because I was still a beginner. I wasn't even a drinker because I couldn't even hold my shit. But what else? Planning the funeral, going to the funeral, that was a lot. The funeral was April 23rd. That was a lot for me. I couldn't even speak at the funeral. I didn't speak. I was literally just booing the whole time. My father, he ain't come to the funeral. Yeah, so I didn't speak at the funeral, didn't speak at the burial either. He was buried in Jersey. And then that was that. And like I said, I was distorted for years, hearing sirens come down my strip, or just hearing sirens at all, whether it was a police siren, ambulance. For at least like 2 years, I would like get startled and jump, and I didn't like the sounds of those things. Not eating, just drinking, like dangerously drinking, to the point where like I was passing out, baby. Ooh, my stomach, I'm hungry. I was passing out. I was it was just horrible, embarrassing time. But yeah, so that's when I became an avid smoker. The initial story of what happened, because this is my side of the story, from me picking up pieces from his friends and things like that. As far as the girl, of course she would have a different story, and I'm gonna keep it very transparent with you guys. So the girl, she was dating my brother. Off rip, my brother was an ain't shit ass little nigga either, and that's not entirely on his own. Again, you obviously saw or heard from the things about my father, he wasn't really in our lives, and a female cannot raise a man. They can try their best, but certain things will happen, and this is one of the things that will predominantly happen, because when my parents divorced, my brother was already like 8, well, like 7. So that impacted him a lot, from growing up seeing your parents together and then they divorced, as opposed to me, I was probably like 1. I didn't feel it until I got older and realized, where's my dad? Or having that absence, like, so he didn't have any guidance from a male or positive male role model in his life, so he turned to the streets. Like, that's what anybody would do in New York. Any guy that goes through that, mostly they head towards the streets. And if that life is for you, it will become a part of you, or you will make it become a part of you. And that's what happened. So he wasn't the greatest dude. He was a great person, but the choices that he made were not conducive to his life. And I found out all of that after. Initial story, okay, boom. My side. After they were arguing in the house, my mother had a conversation with them. She left, and she went to her friend's house, which was 2 blocks around the corner. Which the friend's house is also the friend's house. The girl's brother is also my brother's friend, so they all knew each other. So my brother was trying to change his life around at that point, because he went through a lot. He was finally going to go get his CDL license so he could start making money and doing things the legitimate way, or whatever the case may have been. And she had his work shirts in her car, so whatever they were arguing about, she was being petty and not wanting to give him his shirts. So he pulled up to the friend's house. They were arguing there. He wanted the shirt, she wasn't giving it to him, started a big argument. So what my brother did, go outside, bashed her rear view window out. So he knocked that out with a brick, I think, got his shirts, and the nigga starts walking down the block all jolly. That's what his friend said. And then she came out the house, obviously due to all the commotion, realized what he did. She got in her whip, she started chasing him. So down the block from my house is a store. is a store. He runs in the store because he realized that she's chasing him. He runs in the store. Shorty drives her car up to the deli store door, like straight up, just zoop. That's what the ox said. So boom, they had another exit in the back. What my brother do? They let him go out through the back. They helped him. Outsider point of view, coming from a family member, just never gonna get an answer to this question. But why you just didn't stay in the store or call 911? Because you were protected. Obviously she was chasing you, her car can't get there, but whatever. Adrenaline, I guess. He runs out the back of the store, runs down the block to our house. She's following him. Again, another question I won't get an answer to. Why wouldn't you just run in the crib? Whatever. So he runs up the block. She chases him for some blocks, I guess. He made a turn and he lost her, so she went a different direction. So he thinking he's good, so he's just walking around the block with his shirts. She eventually, I guess, was riding around. She found him, and when she found him, that rage, I'm guessing, she saw him and just drove her car right up to him in the brick column. And she was driving like a 1990 something Honda Accord. So you know those cars back in the 90s, they were heavy. Like them shits was industrial, unbreakable. Don't get into an accident with one of them in a current day car, because your car is going to be fucked up. As far as the girl, because I feel like some of you guys would want to know, she went to jail. We went to court. Obviously my brother wasn't alive to plead his side, and of course she claimed my brother was crazy, abusive, and all of these things, and which my brother was fucking crazy. And the funny thing is, we really liked her, and that was one girl who my brother got with, because all them other hoes, I ain't give a fuck. But her, she was genuinely a sweet soul, but she also had her own traumatic family issues that I don't think she was aware of it, but didn't know how to either let it go, because she was wanting a family and her family didn't give her that, which is why she clung to my brother. Which she also told me, like, oh, because we told her she was too good for my brother and that she should leave him alone and get your life together, you have a daughter, this and the third, blah blah blah. Shorty didn't want to listen, because she was just like, she didn't want to lose the connection that she had with me and my mother, because she felt like she finally had like a family bond. But that was the wrong reason to stay, because now look. So she did 7 years, got out in 6 due to good behavior. And she actually texted me, like, was it last year? Maybe 2 years ago. So last year he was in school. Did we have a mask? Maybe it was 2 years ago. No, because that was COVID. So 3 years ago, about 3 years ago, yeah, she texted me and was just like, hi, this is the I was hoping that I could sit down with you guys and blah 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 and go to church and blah blah. And I'm just like, for me, I instantly walked out of my job crying. My blood was livid. But we did go see her while she was locked up, probably like 3-4 years in. I feel like that was more for a closure thing for me, because like I said, I did see her as a sister, so it was even hard to be completely mad at her 100%, because I knew both sides of how my brother treated her and how she was as a person. And I'm a very understanding person, especially of like family, just your upbringing and how certain environments can make you change or persuade you to do certain things, or like make you who you are, or the toxicity that it can bring into your life. I get that now, but at that time it was hard, because just like, I know that's not who she was. And I felt like those shows, Snapped, I feel like that was her. She snapped. Every person has their breaking point, and that's why you have to be careful with people's emotions, and you can't treat people certain ways, because it could result in someone losing their lives or something crazy. So if you are not healed within yourself, and I mean fully rounded, not saying that there's no room left to grow or continue to heal, but you're not gonna get anywhere in life. And I realized that because this whole situation of my brother being murdered brought so many other aspects and things in my life that allowed me to fully heal. Because like I said, this whole thing was the beginning of my depression, like real nitty gritty of my life, like the lowest of the fucking lows, losing friends, sleeping for hours, being lost, being toxic to people, allowing toxicity in my life. Yeah, so stay tuned for all of these topics, and if you did watch this video from beginning to end, I greatly appreciate you. That means you wanted to get to know a part of me, and you wanted to get to know me more. And I feel like if you watch this, I fuck with you, because this is very hard for me to do. Now, like, when people ask me, I can tell them stories. Oh my god, wait, oh my god, my camera will die. So okay, just to give you a prelude of like my healing journey, I saw my brother twice. Okay, so when people ask me, do you believe in ghosts or the supernatural? Yes, I do. One time, like I told you, when I used to get subconsciously like fucked up, like I would drink and know that I'm drinking, but my mind wouldn't have a limit. I would just be like, all right, let me just drink. Like, you know how you're aware, okay, hey, I'm getting fucked up. I wouldn't feel it until I'm like, ugh, going done off. Talking to this dude, went to Slowbuck Studio, we was drinking, and back then Henny, oh god, Henny used to get me fucked up off of like one sip. It just did not agree with my body. But I have maybe 2 cups mixed with something, and I felt myself having to throw up. So I went upstairs, and they had a bathroom. I go in the bathroom, I lock the door. I begin hurling, like regurgitating my fucking lungs, my fucking uterus, like my fucking stomach lining, like throwing up. And then it got to the point where I stopped throwing up any fluids. I was just like dying, and I'm in the toilet. Like, first of all, if I'm throwing up, yes, I may be out of it, but I'm not putting my head on the fucking toilet seat. When I tell you I was in there on the toilet seat, after the toilet seat I was on the ground, just still like I felt like my stomach was getting punched. I was being tortured, and I'm just like, oh my god, I really did not think I would be able to live from that. And I was just in there talking to God, like, oh my god, like, if you get me out of here, da da da. So as soon as I opened my eyes, when I tell you, I looked up and I'm like, Cayman, this nigga cursed me the fuck out. Like, you would think you're coming down to help me, but you're cursing me out. But that's his personality. He was just like, he's like, yo, what the fuck, my nigga? Like, you dead ass down here fucking throwing up, blah blah, you about to die because you want to fucking drink this, that, and third. Like, da, 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 da. Don't you ever fucking drink like this again, my nigga. Like, dead ass B. I'm just like, okay, like, you're cursing me out, and like, you're totally helping me. Like, which one are you gonna do? Next thing I know, so I'm gonna knock it at the door of my friend Chanel, and I think the nigga that we was with and his friends was like, you know, trying to check on me because I guess I was gone for a while. Didn't know how, like, the time lapse that happened. Somehow they got the door open, or I unlocked it. I don't know how, but after that, I got home safe, good. Yeah, died. So the second time I saw him, this is after I realized, like, I think this was the point in my depression where the healing started to begin. So I was in my living room, and I'm just sitting there at the couch, and it was sunny as hell, and I took a nap, and I remember going to sleep. But then I remember the doorbell ringing, and I wake up, and I'm just like, okay. So I go to the door, I'm opening the door, I go to my second door that actually goes to outside. I open that, and it was my fucking brother. And when I tell you, that dream felt so fucking realistic, and the only thing that I could do was hug him, and he hugged me, and that was the first time that I have ever hugged my brother in my life, because our relationship was not the best relationship whatsoever. Like, one of those brotherly sister relationships where, you know, it's my nigga. Oh, we were fighting, we was in the trenches, like that other shit. So I felt really guilty about certain things, because I used to tell that man I hated him because of the things that he's done to my mom and just people, and him not being there to protect me when he should have. This man used to have crackheads at my crib. This man almost burnt down the fucking house. I came home from high school, had the D's all in my backyard. I had to move a gun for this nigga. I had to move some shit for this nigga, like. But it was just never a thing, and that's why I dead fucked with his girl, the girl that murdered him, because she dead came to me the day before, like 2 days before he died, bro. Like 2 days before he died, because she knew the dynamic of our relationship, that we did not fuck with each other. Because I can't do that. If you have no respect for your moms, bro, fuck you. Like, she's the only one that has held us down, working from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. at night, trying to provide for us, while our father don't give a fuck. So I hated him for that. But she literally came in my room one day and was just like, listen, your brother he speaks to me about y'all not having a relationship, and he wants that, but he just don't know how to approach it. So he's gonna come in your room and he's gonna talk to you, but don't make him feel weird and things like that. Just listen to him. And he came in my room, and because I knew I was smiling in the inside, but he couldn't tell me that he loved me, but I knew that he did. Because he was being all fidgety with my like hamster cage. He was like, hey Saf, how you been? And you know, when someone wants to tell you something and they can't get it out because they're nervous, they don't know how to say it. But I felt it. It's just that I wish that we were able to continue from that point to actually be the brother and sister that I knew that we could have been, bro. We could have been smoking mad blunts and partying. He would have been great, and he would have been here for his son, and to see his future, his nieces and nephews, and then be here to help his son. But I'm gonna do my absolute best to provide and be that aunt/father that your son needs, and I'm gonna take care of him as if he's my own, because he is my own, and that's the only part that I have left of you. So, like I was saying, thank you so much if you watched this video from front to end. And for people who are going through similar things or went through similar things, like, I'm here for you if you ever have anything to ask me or how I dealt with certain things. I'm here. You can hit me up on my Instagram. Oh my god, I can't even finish this, so thank you.